welcome to the show. I'm Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello.
Good morning.
And we have an amazing audience today. Good to have you. So, tops to tops, how are you doing?
I'm beautiful. I feel grateful to God. I've been struggling with getting back on my exercise routine, and I'm happy to do today, and I feel really, really good. So at least we take off. Yeah, no, because I really feel like I identify myself as a fit person. So not feeling that way makes me feel like I'm feeling myself. So it's not really about any. It's an internal, self. Like let me just do it.
That makes you feel good. That's fine.
Yeah, somebody was thinking like it's not that serious. The way I was talking about it, like it's not that deep. But for me, it feels like I'm failing myself. I'm failing.
Okay, how you doing, Maria?
But I'm happy.
Fine. I feel you talk about because for me, if I don't do it, when I don't do it, the times I have not been able to do it, it just affects everything concerning me. I'm not happy, and
for those of us not on that area,
don't mind Mariah. Mariah is a coded person. Mariah will be doing things codedly. You just be seeing changes in her body and wondering how is this happening. But she doesn't. But she does not talk about it.
The jacket is actually covering the dress.
How you doing, Maria?
Fine. Let me see. Okay, the day I went to Lufasi Park, I met this lady who gave me her book about raising kids. And she's a teacher, as you know, reading from her biography, she's a teacher. And it just reminded me of your conference that you had, that there are individuals really in Nigeria that are pushing, you know, the proper narrative. But I think we concentrate too much on talking about the ills and things that are not happening. So people don't see the good that's happening. Maybe, you know, we should switch it. We should talk more about the good. I know we need to talk about the bad so that we'll concentrate on fixing that. But if we talk more about that,
you're totally right.
We'll not put so much info, you know, we don't let that out.
People are not talking about it. You're very correct.
And what you pay attention to, you attract to yourself.
Yes, true.
Yes,
I missed myself. I know people did not miss me on this set. But me, I missed myself. I got a lot of people calling me and sending me text messages. You're not on the show, you're not on the show.
Yeah,
what happened to you? Are you okay? Are you?
That's true. What happened to you? What happened?
Okay, I was supposed to go to the east to see my father. But by the time I calculated the fare, because we were supposed to fly, and there was no, they had booked out till Sunday. And it was very expensive. So Oga said, Auntie, beg your daddy to come. It's easier. So we brought him to Lagos. He actually left yesterday. Yeah, spent time with the grandkids. We had
But that was him in the picture, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure we were.
They look alike.
Yeah,
she looks like her dad.
You took your face from
And then
him.
his aura, there's this thing about him that I think you have as well. She's just her father.
The manly
I saw the
man.
pictures. I wasn't sure. I didn't really pay attention.
That's
Just
my father.
oh, wow.
So he said I should greet everybody. He recognized you. I said, that's fair lady. I like the way she's, you know, the way she demonstrates and the way she talks. She takes her time. She calms
seriously?
down. Then sometimes she now gets the fire. I'm like, okay.
Okay, let's say hello to our audience. Hello, guys.
Yes, hi.
No first-timers here today. Everybody here is a regular.
No, well, they've been here before, maybe not
Fantastic.
regular.
Thank you very much for your commitment to the show. Thank you so much for always being here. We appreciate you. God bless you.
Mariah,
Also, it's
you're looking good.
You're looking
Thank you.
beautiful.
So you will not tell us.
Yes, what's happening?
The journey so
It's the
far.
glory of God.
Oh,
It's the grace of God. Anyway, it's Wednesday and it's the end of the month, so we have to thank Yemi Legend for sending our audience
Thank you.
small chops. Every last Wednesday, he sends us small chops. Thank you so much to Yemi Legend. And TBS Services are giving us also the distributors of Right Foods Limited.
Yeah.
And they gave us drinks and water again for our guests. Thank you so much. So much. And obviously, Cream Slices always gives us a cake at the end of the... Every Wednesday, actually. Somebody was complaining that why do we always have it on the table? And it's because we have to show their cake. They give it for free when you pay for it. So it's important they see it that it's on the cake on the table. So thanks again to Cream Slices. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. With the nation. Nigeria launches battle against $9.6 billion UK verdict. EFCC's joint efforts with FBI yield $314,000 recovery. NE strikes major gas field in Nigeria. House probes Ambode's purchase of 820 buses. Police quiz Koza Pastor Fatoyinbo and Nigerians to pay more for U.S. visa. I think it's the same story. Actually, the major headline also, 3 die as truck crashes into BRT in Lagos. I think we should take that accident here.
It was a very, very terrible accident. This happened in Ikorodu yesterday. So this truck had cement and blocks on. The driver failed, the brakes failed, and he skidded off his lane into the BRT lane and, rammed into the BRT. They lost about 3 people. The driver lost his legs. And all the passengers got one form of injury or the other. About 60 passengers, 40 were seated, 20 were standing. You know the way they stand in the buses. So I just, there was nothing the BRT bus driver could do because he didn't see the guy coming. He just skidded off and rammed
this morning I heard on radio someone, after the story was read, it was a newspaper review program, and someone said he ended up in hospital beside the driver for the truck. That he was such a small boy that was driving that truck. God. So sometimes maybe behind these trucks we have people who are not qualified to be driving, or not properly trained.
Major headline. Let me take that story.
It's everywhere. We're going to take it. Okay, go ahead.
But I thought just knock it off.
Okay.
So the major headline story is about the government's official response to the story we've been taking, where $9 billion, $9.6 billion verdict has been given on Nigeria, and we are meant to forfeit some properties in the UK. Now we had the 3 ministers, Lai Mohammed for the information, we had the Minister for Finance and Budget and Strategy Planning, Zainab Ahmed, and Emefiele, CBN governor, spoke up yesterday in a joint press conference addressing the issue, and I'm happy with what they said, that they are now deciding to confront this issue and protest against what they feel is an unjust judgment against Nigeria. Very unfair for a company that doesn't have any physical investment in Nigeria to cost Nigeria $9 billion and 3 trillion naira, which is like a third, most of our budget, according to the finance minister, that we're going to fight it. Malami, the EFCC boss, is going to investigate extensively into everybody involved because he's speculating that there were issues with the contract.
He also say he's suggesting that a lot of this was done intentionally, that people actually wanted to do a lot of underlying deals going on. So this was obviously done intentionally. And secondly, the $40 million they said they invested, there are no records of it. So there's a lot to be investigated. Hopefully by God's grace and special mercy.
Murayo, don't put God's grace because this is 4 years.
This is by God's grace and special mercy. Our assets will be protected. Say amen.
5 years into the government, me I'm blaming the government. It's 5 years into this government.
We shouldn't be afraid right now. There's no forfeiture of assets for now because they've already
judgment.
Yes, they've
There's
appealed.
one story we don't have it anywhere else.
Which other one?
The EFCC and what they have finally.
EFCC's joint efforts with FBI.
Yes. So they're saying that they traced over $314,000 to some commercial banks here in Nigeria. They have made 28 arrests, and that they started even before this FBI collaboration. They had started their own investigation, and they had been chasing these Yahoo boys on their own. So people, I think maybe they heard you guys say something that people are waiting for FBI before you do your work. So they're telling you they've been doing their own since 2018, and they have caught some people and traced money before.
Well done, FBI, EFCC. Moving on now to The Punch. We're challenging UK's court's $9.6 billion judgment in USA's federal government. We talked about that already. 3 die, 69 injured as truck crushes BRT bus in Lagos. 7 bodies found, 108 rescued in capsized boat. We mentioned that yesterday. Policeman arrested for battering Futa female student. Panic as suspected serial killers invade Ibadan. Lagos Assembly probes Ambode over 45 billion naira vehicle purchase. Nigeria a laughingstock in oil business. And I have never visited Dubai. Protest was not a coup, says Showore. Lots of stories in Punch. I mean, Punch practically has all the stories. Let's speak
the human interest first. Okay, so Futa.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so a student in Futa had ended up in hospital after allegedly being brutalized by a police officer. The police are saying that the students were drunk and on a bike and were asked to stop so they could search their bag, but they didn't allow the police to do their job. But that they just gently pushed them and they fell off the bike. They didn't do anything. I think there was a video taken and put on social media, and the police was like, who touched you? Nobody touched you, you know. So the school is saying this is where the school is saying
battered somebody.
So the school is saying it is wrong that the police, that, you know, this is not what you do in a civilized society. So
okay, let's
we'll
speak
look into it and see that.
Sorry?
There's fear in Oyo State at the moment. They are saying that the residents are complaining that there's this cult group, I think hoodlums, Bado, that they've saturated the place already. About 6 people had been kidnapped, and it's been going on. So, but the PPR of the government is saying that, that's the governor is saying that they shouldn't be afraid, that they are working to search, fish them out. Okay. The investigations are ongoing, arrests are being made, so people should just calm down.
Shore is speaking, saying that he would never plan
he never went to Dubai. Okay. He had a meeting with the IPOB head in Abdikanu, but it had nothing to do with it. He didn't plan a coup. It was a protest against the feeling of Nigerians that things are wrong in the country, and that he didn't plan a coup. He didn't get funding. There was no million, because DSS gave a statement that they found and traced money that is being sponsored by Western other countries to cause crisis in Nigeria. And he said he didn't have any money. He didn't go to Dubai, and they should prove where they got the money from. He doesn't have any money with him.
Moving on now to Tribune, Nigerian Tribune. EFCC and NIA probe 9.6 billion. We talked about that already. U.S. retaliates Nigeria to pay more for American visa. Why Buhari was not at the G7 summit. And Lagos Assembly to probe Ambode over the purchase of 820 buses. Let's talk about Ambode for a second, because they're saying that, go ahead.
Okay, so Ambode is being probed by the Lagos State House of Assembly, and the grouse is that in 2017, 2018, and 2019, he had asked to bring in 820 buses in 2017 for 17 billion in 2017, which was rejected. In 2018, he asked for 24 billion, and then in 2019, he asked for 7 billion, all rejected. But he still found a way to bring in 820 buses.
Have you seen the buses or not?
It was...
So we've seen some of them.
Have you seen the buses?
We've seen some of them.
But the point I'm trying to make is that if you divide 45 billion naira by 820, it gives about 50-something million naira. How much is an SUV, Land Cruiser in Nigeria? So for me, I don't see what the issue is.
The money he requested for was even for 5,000 buses.
Yeah.
And then he got only 820. 520 buses are still at the ports.
Yeah.
So
they said he also asked for waivers for the importation, but it was not given to him.
I'm not so the issue. How much for where the issue is, because if I divide the amount of money with the buses, it seems like a fair deal. But so they should tell us exactly what the issue is.
Why are those buses still at the ports?
Well, some of them they've not been cleared. I mean,
for 1 year.
Yeah, they haven't been cleared.
So what's happening? So that's
it's fishy.
That was what
they investigated.
That's what they are investigating.
That cannot be Ambode's fault now.
Exactly, that they are still at the port.
Let's not. We wait for this.
Do you want to talk about visa issuance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Visa.
So the United States has given us. So now, apart from the regular fees you pay when you apply for visas, you have to pay what they are calling a reciprocity fee. So what they're saying is that the cost of Americans to come to Nigeria, the total cost for Americans coming to Nigeria is higher than the total cost of Nigerians going to America. And they have been in talks with the Nigerian government, concerning over 18 months to, look at this cost and see how that they can... Yeah, to review it, but nothing came out of it. So now, in order to make up for the cost, the difference in cost, we have to pay that difference. So they are giving us an extra cost.
It's painful, because how many people are actually coming in from America to Nigeria?
Let's talk about why our president didn't attend the G7, because people are talking about that. They're saying that that we should stop this speculation.
Please,
that every time there's a theme. And what happened is that the seven most powerful economy in the world actually meet for the G7 summit. And they invite other countries to also attend. Now, this year, Nigeria wasn't invited. People were saying why we're not invited, because Rwanda was invited, South Africa was invited, Senegal was invited.
So why weren't we invited?
And they're saying it's because the theme of this year did not really concern our own economies. They're talking about WTA, I think it was World Trade Organization, and other thing that has to do with other countries. It doesn't concern Nigeria.
So that's why that just shows how we've been relegated in the scope.
That's what the paper said.
Who is relegating who?
How they've relegated Nigeria.
That's what they're saying. It does not concern us. Not that they are
invited twice. We've been invited twice in the last 5 years. So when it concerns us, we attend. So don't dramatize the fact that we're not invited. Simple.
Wow.
You have no work to do. Every small thing, they make it an issue. Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Wednesday. Remember last week? we mentioned that we'll continue the conversation on using your children as your social security when you are older. That will be our hot topic. But first, we need to discuss this issue of new electricity tariff.
Oh, God.
Everybody's talking about it. It's going to be, I think, implemented next year. Let's discuss that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So, thanks for staying with us. So, the report has it that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has approved the new energy tariff for the electricity distribution companies, DISCOs. Now, does this invariably mean that Nigerians would have to pay more for electricity? Joining us on the phone is the General Manager, Public Affairs Relations, Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, Mr. Usman Abba Arabi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Good.
So, we read your press release, and we understand that you are going to be, they considered some macroeconomic variables to adjust the tariffs. Could you give us an idea of what variables these are that informed the need to adjust the tariff?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I want to start by saying that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has not increased the tariff.
Okay.
We have not increased any tariff. When you receive your bill at the end of August or September, I'm sure if you check, you will see that your tariff will not have changed. If you go to buy a voucher for your electricity, if you check, you will note that there will not be any change because we have not increased any tariff.
Okay, but there's somewhere that told us that next year you're going to increase it by next year, right?
By next year, what we do at the Commission is that under the law, that established us, we have the multi-year tariff order. This order was supposed to have consultation with the public. We're supposed to have some variables that we check from time to time. So we do minor reviews every six months. Okay. And those variables that you ask are inflation, forex, and the price of gas. Okay. So we do that every 6 months. And after we do that, we determine whether the tariff will go up or it will go down. So yes, there will be a review next year, and the tariff might actually go down. So we really don't know because these are indices that we don't have control over.
Okay, so there's
indices like inflation, forex, and the price of gas.
Okay, so there's a little confusion I think I have. I have an article that says, according to the documents, the order became effective July 1st, 2019, and it talks about retrospective adjustments based on the tariffs that were from 2015 up to 2017. Could you explain what that means, retrospective adjustment?
We were supposed to have this review in 2016, 2017, and 2018. We didn't do that. So we now did it. So after we've done those reviews, we discovered that there is no need to increase tariff. So there was no tariff increase.
So, sir, the DISCOs have said over time that they've been incurring a lot of losses.
Yeah.
They buy at 80.88 naira, and then they sell at 31 naira. Now you're saying that there's no increment. So how do they recover those losses?
Well, first of all, they have to control their losses, because these losses are largely within their control. They're supposed to meter people, because when you meter people, these losses will reduce. When you improve on your network, these losses will reduce. I'm not saying all of them are the same. Some are trying, So once you reduce these losses, then obviously the price will come down.
Okay.
There are two questions I want to ask, which is slightly related to this. There's a new upgrade to an estate close to me that they now became premium clients. So they have a separate tariff and they have constant power supply. Can you help us explain how you decide or how people can opt into this premium clients and what the difference would be in their tariff?
First of all, I don't know anything about premium powers. Okay. All I know that we have an agreement with I mean, the discos. The discos have their license terms and conditions which we expect them to abide with. Now, we know that places like Mogodo, is it Mogodo in Keja? We've heard, I've read in the news that they have premium tariff. This is something I don't want to talk about because I don't really know much about it. Okay. But I know that there is a regulation that the Commission came up with, which is the eligible customer regulation. Okay. I don't know whether that has fallen under that category. Okay. So I would suggest that you discuss with your disco to find out.
Okay. Who do we hold accountable in the issues of transformers? I know it should fall under discos, but if your transformer is faulty, usually what we do here is to contribute and we buy ourselves transformer. One, is that right? And if we want to report the fact that the disco isn't supplying transformer, but is doing load shedding, which is their excuse for the fact that your transformer is not working well, so they are not giving you enough power because they feel your transformer cannot carry it. Who do we hold accountable, and what's the process for someone who is in that case?
You hold your distribution company accountable because these transformers are their assets. Okay. Number one. Number two, the Commission doesn't. We don't own any assets. We don't. Can
we report them to you? Can we report them to NERC if they don't replace the transformers? Is that a possibility? Is that a way of checking them? Because if you just report it, it doesn't make any difference.
First of all, if you have issues, a local issue of transformer within your vicinity, the first thing you need to do is to report to the distribution company. For example, if you are in Lagos and you go to Eko or you go to Ikeja. Now, if they are not able to handle it, you now take it to the forum office. Okay. That's where we come in, because the Commission has opened forum offices across the country. Okay. Whereby if your issue is not settled at the distribution end, then you can now take it.
All right, let me ask this question, sir. I understand the issue of cost-reflective tariff, but I also understand that you cannot control the variables such as inflation and forex. But the issue of price of gas, is that not something that can help to further reduce the cost of acquisition from the discos, that we have a bit of control over as a government? The price of gas, can it be something that we can adjust to help the discos?
Well, again, the price of gas and all these indices are not within the control of the Commission. So I will not be in a position to make comments on the price of gas.
Sir, I want to get everything you said in a nutshell. That the consumer out there, by the time they are recharging for this month, you are saying that there's no increment, because I would like them to hear.
That's right.
There's no
increment. Electricity increment. As far as we are concerned, the Commission has not approved any tariff increase via the order that was released recently.
Okay. I think we can.
That's good.
All right. So even this retrospective tariff has nothing to do with what we're paying now?
No, it shouldn't.
All right. Thank you very much for clearing that up.
And then on the issue you raised about contributing money, the Commission frowns at that because we have not given any distribution company any authority to collect money to buy transformers.
But we do it, sir. So how do we report that situation?
As I said. Thank you very much,
because it's the one they will report to. It's an NERC that will report to if we've had to do it. Many communities have bought their own transformers themselves, and that's a fact.
He's telling you that you have to go to the discos. That's what he's saying.
No, but they don't. They tell you to contribute money, Murayo.
The discos are saying.
The discos say you should contribute money, then you buy the transformer, then they come and fit it in for you.
Yeah, so
that is an ongoing thing. So who can we hold accountable?
I'm really surprised to hear that discos will tell their customers to contribute money.
No, we've been buying, even in my area, sir, we bought our transformer.
It's a fact, sir. It is a fact.
So the question, therefore, is that who do they report the discos to? That's you, right?
Yeah.
So you have a liaison office in Lagos or in various states, correct?
We do.
Okay, so then we take the issue.
I would suggest that if you can go to our website at www.nerc.gov.ng, you see all the processes and modalities.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Sure. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we have a hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
We are excited.
Thanks for staying with us. So we are going to continue where we stopped last week, Wednesday, on this topic. We said that using children as your social security. was pretty heated last week when everybody was talking about our viewers actually called in to engage our audience to hear their own views on this matter, because people felt that it was wrong to use your children as your social security. Others are saying it's their duty, it's a blessing for your children to actually take care of you at old age. So I'll give Obia the floor, because she wasn't here when we talked about it last week.
Let's hear her.
So your thoughts on this?
Okay.
Would you use, in fact, I don't want you to go to your parents. I'm talking about you and your own children. Would you like your own children to take care of you in your old age?
No, when you put it that way, it sounds very funny, because every parent will want the children to take care of them. So it's not about taking care, it's about carrying my burden, which I won't want. You know, so if I'm training them now, I'm giving them an opportunity to have their lives, I will wish for them to stand very well before I start. In fact, I don't even expect them to start paying, paying my bills and not living their life, not building for themselves, because I have seen people who have been drained. They couldn't stand for a long time because they had the responsibility of their parents on them at a very early age. You just finish school, you're just struggling to start earning the 35,000 or the 50,000, and then you have bills you are paying for mommy and bills you are paying for your daddy. It takes you a longer time. That's even if you start, you know. So I would want my children to have that balance. By the grace of God, I will support them to have that balance, which I got that support.
You've not answered my question.
That's what I'm saying. I said I won't want to be a burden to my children.
But you want them to take care of you at some way.
Don't call it taking care of. Call it like, more like
responsible.
What do I say? More like you could give me gifts once in a while. You could. No. Understand?
There's an argument. There's an
argument.
I hear you.
Yeah.
There's an argument that when you were helpless, your parents were there for you.
What do you mean
when
by
you had nothing, when you were a child, they fed you, they cared for you, they clothed you, they gave you shelter, the whole works. And now they are now almost like babies. They are old. They're in their 80s. Okay. They can't do anything. They need to be under your shelter. Many people take them to adult homes, the old people's homes. So are we saying that because we don't want to take care of our own children?
My children will take care of me.
No. You know why I want us to separate it, because there are parents who have the mindset that once you are out of school, you will do everything for me. They are young, they are working, they just sit down. I'm expecting you to send me money. I'm expecting you to pay my bills. That's a different category. Yes, I wanted us to, yes. So when it comes to taking, of course, any child who has been raised properly will know. Nobody will tell you that you should take care of your parents. I take care of my parents. That's the question. So I expect you to take care of me. That's what I'm saying. So everyone
But just to refresh your memory, for those of you who have no idea why we came up with this topic, there was a pastor that we played, and I hope we can play it again, that told you and telling us today that you better create a business that will sustain you in your old age. Because don't expect your children to take care of you. So you are saying that you expect your children to take care of you. And he's saying no.
Don't quote it wrongly. Yes. Okay. What we all agreed on even last week was that we expect our children to be responsible and take care of us when we can't take care of ourselves.
That's good.
That is the responsible thing to do. As individuals, we must plan our future. But even when you have the money, a friend of mine, his father had prostate issues, enlarged prostate. He had the money to do the operation, but he needed his children to drive him to, he couldn't drive. Somebody needed to drive him to the hospital. He had a driver, but he wanted a family member because it's irresponsible. So my friend left work for a week to stay with a man that could afford it. But to help him through that process of doing the operation and back. He didn't need his money. Actually, my friend couldn't even afford it, but the man could afford it. So that's what we're saying, that you as an individual, plan that in the next future you might have a large prostate. If you have issues that are health related, you can buy your diabetes drugs. You know that you're calling, my pikin, send money for diabetes drugs. My pikin, send money, my blood pressure, they go up. It's not that you're depending on your child for every bill you have. You have investors that can sort your bill. What you need from your child is the love and care. Mama, are you doing okay? Grandma, are you fine? Those are the things we say is compulsory for every responsible child to give.
We need to watch that video again, because I don't want us to lose track of what we are talking about here. Because I know there was a young lady.
Yes. There was a young lady who sort of disagreed with us, because we were almost all on the same page, and she said that she knows that there are some people who force their children to provide for every little thing even though that child is unable to, fully provide for themselves. Yeah. So I know that there are two issues. For me, I still stand on where I stood last week, which is I hope my children grow up to be that sort of, to be those sort of people, responsible and have that mindset, whether I have it or not, and provide for me, whether it's monetarily or, emotionally, or just being there for me. But, when we're talking about this, after that, this Invictus story broke. And we heard a lot of people talking about the role their parents actually played in pushing them into crime. So it got me thinking. I was talking from my own personal perspective, how my parents raised me. But obviously, children are being raised differently in different homes. So there are people that are being pushed by parents to go into crime so they can provide for them. Yeah. So that is where that is where I stand and say, I draw the line that, no, you cannot push your child to the point that they have to steal to take care of you. You cannot advise your child to...
No parents want to push your child.
It's happening.
No, wait, let me rephrase.
It's happening.
No, okay, let me rephrase. No parents will intentionally...
It's happening. Mariah, let me give you this.
No parents should. Yes, no parents should.
No responsible parents should, but it's happening.
It does happen, Mariah. It does.
Okay, so let me come to the audience because I need to hear your thoughts, and we're doing this show because we want to engage people. Let me hear your thoughts. Would you want your children to take care of you when you're old? And what are you doing with your own parents right now? Let me go ahead.
My parents, they brought us up very well, but my parents they didn't want to be a burden to anybody. Number one, but for blessing's sake, because my parents are clergy people, for blessing's sake, they will always advise us to sow into their lives so that God will, in return, will bless them. But they have never been a burden to anybody. So for them to encourage us to be able to sow into their lives, that means it's our duty, no matter what, whether they are independent or dependent, to sow into their lives so that God, in return, will bless them.
Okay, point taken. But you say something for
Yes, so there's this, growing up, I had this very close family to our house then. I remember the kids were in secondary school at that time, and I remember that there was a particular day the girl came to the house and saw me collecting money from my father to make my hair. And she was like, does daddy give you money to make hair? We're in secondary school. I'm like, okay, I just left secondary school because I wasn't making hair in secondary school. And then she said, your daddy gives him. I said, yes, who will give? Your daddy buys your toiletries. I said, yes. It was strange to her. And I said, who does that for you? I said, my parents don't do it. Do you know that this girl actually started dating somebody so that she could pay her jam fees and buy some provisions in the house for her to feed? Okay. Once she finished secondary school, and they had money. It wasn't as if the parents didn't have money.
Yes, but you can
take care of yourself. And then in the university, we have people come home and say, my mom is telling me that, see your mate, she's already buying this kind of things for me. See your mate, she's already buying this kind of bags for me. Why can't you? Do you have two heads? Does she have two heads? You should be able to. So these things lead these children to start doing shady things so that they can measure up and bring things home for their parents.
So those are the parents who are dealing with.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Hello?
Morning.
Lara, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Based on the topic we are discussing about, I think parents should not expect, if their child can do, it is fine. My parents spent my mom especially, she took her time to train her children, but today she's no more. I really wish I can spend on her now, but she's no more. She's not there for me to spend on her. So what would I do? I really want to. My both parents are no more. What do? I will want to train my child to make sure my child is doing fine.
Okay, thank you very much, Lara. Thank you very much for your contribution. So your child is doing well, and maybe your children now. Our children are doing very well, but their family finds it a burden for you to come and stay with them. As a mother, it's a burden for you as a parent to either stay with them or to even be dependent because you're now retired. Nigerian pensions are not coming as they should. You don't have any money, and you literally need to depend on your children. So what that pastor was saying is that for a parent today, knowing that might happen in future, begin to plan your future such that You will not need to go and stay in your children's house or need them to pay you monthly salary. The question is, do we agree with that?
Of course, we agree. No. So for me, I think that every adult that you're still within, you're still working, should have a plan for the future of when you're in your 80s and when you're in your, if you live to be 90s.
Let me take a few comments from the audience before we rush off. Go ahead.
In this issue, what I want to say, I didn't agree totally with what the pastor said. Because one, all fingers are not equal. Somebody may be working as a civil servant, he's only in grade 1 to grade 2. Remember a salary and he has 2 children. He can finish train them because he don't have any other thing to fall back on. If the God help him, those children become somebody. They are the one to raise him tomorrow. So if we just raise, not everybody have the capacity to build empire for himself in the next 10, 15 years. So you cannot just generalize that. That's why I didn't agree at all with what I'm saying.
Fantastic. You have to. But you can. Okay, go ahead. I'd like to hear some fathers and mothers. I don't want to hear from young people. I want to hear from a father. Right, your children. Would you expect your child to take care of you?
Good morning,
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
As a father, as Yoruba said, that no parents in this Nigeria that will say, I don't want to eat from the fruit of my labor. But I cater for my mom and my father. They are no more now. Cater for them because they cater for me. And they push me to somewhere. But now I'm pushing my children. Firstly, I used to tell my mates, firstly, if you're in service, have your plan. Have your shelter of your own.
Thank you.
If you settle that one out, if you lose your job, but you have somewhere to put your head. If it is 5 naira that is coming from as you'll be able to use it to eat. Because the children you are training, the children of nowadays, they have their own life to live. Because they are still running up and down. By the time you are being a parasite to them, you are pushing them to where you don't expect them to go.
Thank you, sir.
It is tough. It is a tough place to be, but we must start raising our children to be compassionate to us in old age. Because our parents get old and they are infirm.
Exactly.
Some parents cannot stand, they cannot work. So you will not say that even if you have your retirement plan, but you cannot walk, so you'll be abandoned. No, you'll be abandoned. I feel that my children, if for any reason I can't walk, my children must have the compassion to help me because I helped them. It's not about being a burden on them. And I would raise, and I think we should raise them to the capacity where we understand that, Mariah, you have your in-laws living with you. That's the reality of life. If my parents, for any reason, cannot stay where they are, I would bring them into my house. And it might not be convenient for me, but it's the price you pay because a responsible child.
Simple. So sorry.
Go ahead.
See, you were making that example, and I thought you were going where she is. Sometimes it's not about the cash. Sometimes it's about the inconvenience of them coming to live with you. My grandma lived on her own for many years, and my mom went through different difficult situations. She couldn't pay rent sometimes. She had to go and live. We had to go and live with my grandmother. Imagine all those years that she was there catering for not just her child, but also her grandchildren. Then my grandmother becomes old, and she needs to stay somewhere, not because she needed money, but because she needed to be in, where we could take care of. Should we now then say, well, we are managing our tiny space. You should have taken care of your needs at that time, and have provided for us so that by now...
Oh, are we going on a break?
Oh, no. We'll try to continue the conversation. Stay with us to break now. Oh, no.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
All right. So, thanks for staying with us. As we wrap up this conversation, let us take a few more comments. Yes,
Yes, so I know that the African family is in close units. We are united. We've not lost that part of our culture. We have our parents coming to stay with us. We have people taking care of their parents, living with their parents, So we're still in that space. And then you are raising children who are seeing you take care of mommy and take care of daddy. It's only natural that it will trickle down and they will
do the right thing.
Yes, once it's their responsibility, you don't need to remind your child to do the right thing. That's what I believe.
So if you do the right thing, you do the right thing. Yes, ma'am, let's take a few comments.
Support Obi because is what I wanted to say, that it's a law of karma. When you take care of your parents, they will take care of you. And when you are taking care, when you are building a foundation for the children, they see the way you are hardworking, up and doing another. Trust them. They have eyes. They can see. They will return it back to you. And when a child is in the university, or you send a child to school, don't try it. Talk. Ask them for what they cannot reach to. Yoruba will say, until when you know that they are not able to feed you yet, don't start telling them, what did you bring for me? And don't you know you buy something for me? That means you are telling them to do otherwise.
Thank you very much. Let's take a few tweets and I'll take
Zeta Collection says, being a student and at the same time self-employed, I'm trying to build the family when my father is late, but it seems I'm not doing anything. How I wish you guys will continue this because my mom is listening and I'm staring at her face because she's guilty.
Oh God.
So somebody is using us to deliver message to the world that help me. Other tweets, famous stylist said that some parents are struggle to send their children to school all through the university level. As a reasonable child, even from your allowance as a corps member, the peanuts you have, you must give something. Even if all you have to do, just give.
Okay, Ibrahim says, it's a religious and moral obligation for me to look after my parents when they are aged and helpless. This should be done out of love, compassion, and sense of duty. It should be done within the limit of the children's ability and relative convenience, not under duress.
Let me take a final comment from our audience. Go ahead, please.
I'm Lekon.
Hi, Lekon.
I think the taking care part, it should be two parts. We have the monetary part and the being there part. Yeah. When you're older, like 80, 90, and you're richer, all you need is your children to be there for you, like physical support, your help. But I think, as a parent, in this age, you should train the child to be responsible for themselves, not as a business venture.
Yeah. One last tweet. Okay, so Tinuke here says, ladies, you are mixing care with finances. A child should care for the parent emotionally, psychologically when they're in their old age. However, parents should not put pressure on their children to support them financially.
I think that's what we all agree on, that take care. And one of the greatest joy I have, like my father, I was there. My mother made sure. She said, Mariah, it's not your money. I need you. I was there. I thank God that I fed him. I cleaned him up. I took care of my father till he passed out.
Your children will do the same for you.
So as much as finances are good, be available. And also, when your parents, as just like I just said, when your children see you being available for your own parents, by God's grace and mercy, when you're old, they'll also model that and do exactly what you did. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to ask this question. No, we'll come back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. So there is a general assumption that many men do not value their wives enough. And possibly the renewal of their vows every 5 years might actually help to rejig the memory of their husbands. Now, what are your general thoughts on this? Would you agree to a 5-year renewal of a marital contract? Now, my question to the ladies is, if you do agree on a 5-year marital contract, what are those things you're going to add in that marital contract that wasn't there before? What are the new things that you would like to add in this after 5 years? You've done first 5 years. What are the new things you're going to add to this contract? While you're thinking about it, let me come to the audience. Does anybody want to take a swipe at this? Okay, Tokwe, go ahead.
If I'm negotiating the contract,
I like
our marriage contract in the beginning.
Was there a contract in the first place?
No, it was a very, very lovey-dovey. There was no plan. All I just wanted to do was just marry the man I love. So now we will agree on responsibilities in the house, documented. Yes, because sometimes you use mouth to agree on these things. I've been in this matter for 9 years. we have used mouth to agree, it did not work. We will document the agreement on responsibilities in the house. Another thing for me that I would insist on is the responsibility for the children is not a woman's responsibility.
Right.
And I never thought of it that it would be an issue in marriage.
You include that in your
now,
contract.
specifically, the children are not mommy's responsibility.
Alone.
The children are our responsibility.
And you itemize who does
documented duties of daddy in the house.
Okay, so who bats?
Yes, who bats? How many days will you do homework?
Okay.
Because right now, it's for granted it's mommies that do homework. I'm not the only one that knows mathematics. So, mommy and daddy, this is one number of days we do homework. Because I realize that a lot of women feel cheated in marriage.
Yeah.
And that's because we just feel like this is our reality and we can't say anything about it. So I agree that there must be some kind of discussion.
We're just hoping. I mean, this is not real. We're just hoping that by God's grace, if this God's grace today,
this is your God's grace today.
By God's grace, if we all agree,
Mommy Gio,
year renewal, what are we going to add in the contract? Miriam, what would you renew in this contract?
I don't want to sound like we're broken record. Really, the question is to my husband what he may want to. I hope he's not even watching because he may be thinking, I need to review our contract. Because I really feel that I'm enjoying this marriage much more than he is. So that is my own situation. Wow. You know, he doesn't
let you do much.
Yes. What he wants from me is be the best you can be.
Wow.
Do what you can. You know, that's what he wants from me.
There's a benefit to that. She marries somebody older than her. So when you find somebody that's much older than you, so you just treat her as a daughter.
No, exactly we are talking like women. We're talking like women. If we are supposed to ask the man, because sometimes we're making it look like he's just our own side.
So
if you ask men, they should call in.
Tell us, if you're going to renegotiate your contract with your wife, what would you add? Let me come to you, Biajulu.
Okay, me. We're not renegotiating anything. Everything is perfect as it is. But I know that he may want to renegotiate because sometimes he tells me like, you know you're cheating me, Sha. You know because I just love you. You are just balling. Me, I'm here. So I know that if you ask him that question, he may want to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and talk about this. But right now, I don't think there's anything I want to renew. I'm having a ball as it is. And if I go into the marriage with the mindset that I'm going to be renewing, I think it's going to hamper on my commitments.
It won't hamper anything.
No, honestly, because it's marriage. Okay, what if we decide not to renew and everybody decides after 5 years, I'm tired of you, because we actually get tired at some point. I'm tired of you, go your way, go your way. What happens? Yeah, what happens to the children? How do we divide the kids?
No,
who is taking?
We're not taking it down.
You're going too far. We're having fun.
We're just talking hypothetically.
Hold on now.
I'm taking it to a different level.
I'm a life coach, and I advise people on marriage. Some people after 5 years, they are tired. They want out.
Okay.
You know, so if this happens, some people just want to go.
Let me just. We're just talking hypothetically.
Yeah, let's have fun with it.
Well, I'm saying that
I don't know how to
if we are trying to renegotiate this contract, I have a call. Collins, are you there?
I'm here.
Please go ahead.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I was trying to talk on the first issue before now.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, the issue, I'll be brief and be fast about it. The truth of the matter is this. You find out responsibility when it's not given to the children, and...
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Mariah, answer your question. Mariah must answer. Me, I'm the only one on this block. You must answer that question. What are you renegotiating?
If I'm allowed to renegotiate, I'll probably negotiate and ensure that I agree on the percentage of our salaries that are going to housekeeping. So, for example, I will ensure that maybe 50% of his salary goes for housekeeping. Because right now, it's just used that, okay, this money, it's just discretion. Right now, it's discretionary. I would like there to be a certain figure, percentage of your revenue that comes to me. Very, very important.
Allowance, okay?
No, allowance. It's revenue of revenue that comes to me. That comes to me.
All right.
Yes.
I would also like to.
People are just doing that, but this is if you have fun.
We're in Wonderland right now. We're in Alice in Wonderland. We are dreaming. We're dreaming.
This isn't a new idea.
Okay. Go ahead.
Please, let's where you're finished.
She was making a list. Can we get the remaining?
I am ready for you. Let's do this list.
Go on. I also agree with the fact that the terms and conditions of our engagement with the kids would be, because I even think my husband does more than I do when it comes to the kids.
So
he loves, really, he plays with the kids. I'm just very, very do the right thing. I'm very, very strict. So that he'll probably want us to negotiate that, because I'm constantly, I'm always out in that circle. But I think that's pretty much it. My own issue is really the revenue. I want money. I want the money to come to me.
Yeah. But do you see that now? When at first when you see it written, you're like, oh yes. Then when you start to talk about it, it doesn't really seem as exciting as much. And the way marriages are really right now, in our present days, people can actually leave easily. There used to be a time where you would want to stay in the marriage no matter what. But now people are taking a step away and saying, you see, this is not working out for me. Let's take some time apart.
Chidi, are you there?
Yes, Mariah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. Yeah, I want to comment on the first and the second topic you have very briefly. Yeah, I don't subscribe for parents to use their children as a bargain. I will train you and you will take care of me. Parents should have it at the back of their mind. I am doing my job as a mother, as a father, and I will plan also for my own retirement. Like my parents, they did their job very well. They made us independent, and they are not waiting for you to do anything for them.
Yeah.
Or if they come in, they go, they travel out, they come in, so they are enjoying themselves. Secondly, marriage vows. Marriage vows, as a marriage counselor, I don't think we need to review things as it were, because if we do
Thank you, my brother.
We are putting marriage, that vow, marriage, on a stake. Anything can happen then.
Thank you.
If I have married you and we are 10 years, 11 years, 20 years, and things are going fine with us, what are we renewing for? What are we talking about? Because for me, this is an avenue of giving the devil a chance to strike.
Thank you very much.
We have a good all of us here are happy in our marriage, and that's not the reality for everybody. You know?
He says,
so it's not the reality for everybody, and so we shouldn't just assume that everybody's having it rosy, they will not want to check out, or they can check out. Some people are actually having major difficulty and they feel they wish they didn't marry the person. I know in my mind that if I had the opportunity to pick another husband again, it will still be Makodige I will pick, because I'm happy here. But that's not the reality for everybody.
So there are some people that are actually having issues, and this question might actually go a long way to help them renew what exactly
to also be very realistic. Sometimes we go through different seasons in our marriages. So now the season of we're all happy. Who knows, in 5 years or in 24 hours, we are fighting. And you ask me this question, maybe I'll think about it again. Yeah, you know.
Let me take this comment and I'll come to you. Yes, go ahead.
I support Biageli. I don't think there is any need for us to go into any contract. I would suggest as a person that we should go back to where we start from, because it's that thing that connects both of us. It's love. We should renew that love. When there is love, there is understanding. You don't need to be told as a husband, you are to assist your wife, or as a wife, you are to assist your husband. It is only love that can connect both of you. You'll be able to think and do what is right. So I believe there's no
love. We've talked about it before. Sometimes some people say that love can be overrated, but let me take.
May I quietly take my
the Queen has been holding. Queen, are you there? Hello, Queen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I would like to contribute on the first topic.
Go ahead.
Children raising parents or no. I think if I should raise my child should be able to do the same for me when I'm getting old. Okay. My mom, right now, my commitment to my mom is like, she's my #1 priority right now, because I knew how we all started. I knew how she sold her wrappers, gave out things just to ensure that we went through school. And when my dad passed on, I could see the rigorous things she had to go through just to bring us up. Now, for a child not getting back to train that particular mother, it's pathetic. It's going to be heartbreaking for me if I have to go through all those things, and then my child at the end of the day will not even want to care if I'm eating or not. Right now, if I have anything, I think of my mom first. Because I try to imagine how she is coping. My dad is no longer there with her right now, and then how things are going generally.
Thank you very much,
for her.
Queen.
So,
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your point. Yes, Ibeji.
So here says, this isn't a new idea. Bear in mind, though, that a marriage contract renewal cuts both ways, to continue with the union or to dissolve it. While we are waiting for 5 years to renew, I would rather suggest more like a communication center. So you open your communication lines. You talk regularly. What is working? What have you noticed I'm doing that you don't like? What can I adjust for tomorrow? I have this regularly, and it has helped. Because the truth is, in marriage, you are coming in with one mindset. You get in there, you are seeing a whole different thing. It's like a gift unwrapping. Like this, what you call moi, you call it a lele in my place. You unwrap it, whatever you get inside, that's what you see. So with what you have in your hands, you can regularly say, okay, maybe every month end, we sit down and talk. Okay, I don't like this, so can you adjust this? Can we find a way? Yeah, basically, open day.
We've all totally generally advocated for communication. It's important we all communicate in our marriages. But as I said, this is just a hypothetical
Alice in Wonderland moment.
We're trying to just enjoy the moment that in case you are allowed to review a contract, what would you want? Let me take your comment, sir. Go ahead.
I also very agree that there is no need for any renegotiation.
Okay.
The truth is, the scope of marriage is very deep. When you are getting into it, first is that two people have agreed that they want to become one, and they are coming into a journey. Now, the things you will see in it, you don't even know.
Yeah.
So and that's why they say marriage is not for babies, so mature people. So as things are unfolding, the approach is that there should be times for, reconciling issues on mature grounds.
All right.
Not that there will be any need for any.
All right. So I have a few comments here, and some people are saying that what they will renew, number one, that vacation is mandatory. Summer vacation must be mandatory.
Where you have the money.
And that what it said. And that what he said that they renew that their parents will not stay in their house.
Imagine. These are important points. Let's hear.
Yeah, the spouse's parents will not stay in their house. So we agree that maybe you be taking care of your parents in their own house, but not coming to their house.
See how it connects with our first topic.
Another person here is saying that they renegotiate and all his salary will come. Okay, that's what I just said. Another person is saying that. Okay, I think. All right, let me take this last call first. Ifeoma, are you still there? I'll take a few more comments afterwards. Ifeoma has been holding for a while. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. You ladies are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to comment on the marriage bit. You said whether we renew the contract.
Yes.
For me, marriage is more than a contract. It's more like a covenant. And a covenant is a contract that is sealed in blood.
Hey.
Yes.
See, that's do us part.
Love that seals that contract, as you put it. So it's beyond contract. Because with contract, you look at what they are giving, is the person giving 50%, the person giving 40% and all that. But in love, you give 100% and the other person gives 100%. And because love is missing a lot of our marriages, that's why the second topic you talked about, children seeing their parents as a burden, now comes up. Because if you've been brought up in a loving family, you will never see your parents when they get old, when they need you, as a burden.
Thank
you.
You
even see it as a privilege that you have to take care of them. Some of us.
So I have a few. Let me take the final comment here for this person. The person said that she has 5 children. Like she had to renegotiate. She had told her husband only 2 children in this marriage. The man likes children, and personally she didn't want that to have that many kids.
So these are
you cannot renew that in 5 years. You don't make sure that it does not become 6 or 7.
So
Tinuke says, or Ibrahim says, I think it will be healthy. It will be a healthy necessity in marriages to allow for renewal of marriage vows or terms. I believe that marriage should be a happy experience for both parties. When it ceases to be happy for all, you should feel free to review and renew.
Tinuke says, the beauty of marriage is being flexible and open to what works for that marriage. The problem is when people hold views such as a man must do this or a woman must do this. Be happy within your roles, and if there are any issues, communicate.
One last one. PJ Comedian says,
Yes.
no, we not go agree. This topic needs balance, so there should be a man in the studio with you all. We need to do things now. So what are the men
saying here? Come to you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I want to renew my marriage. My marriage in 5 years, intermittently. Yes. I will tell my wife, because I'm a typical Ondo man. If she's pounding yam for me, maybe twice in a week, I will tell her, please, so you have to review this, my pounded yam time, maybe 3 hours.
That's not too bad.
Then I will not, secondly, I will not sit down and say, okay, your Ashwabi, because she came from a very large family. I will tell you, not all the things you will be going to, because it's an agreement between me and you that, okay, well, anytime I call you, answer me.
Open door to the other room. Okay. Anytime we come to the other room, answer. Very nice. That's a nice. Okay. That's a very nice renegotiation. Who else wants to say one or two things? Okay.
Any man. The men are shy.
Okay. Talk now. Go ahead. Okay, nobody else.
Birthday guessing or Larry Waju says, bride price should be paid once, but marriage vows could be renewed with gifts and more. Is bride price spiritual? And then John Lawrence Odede says, my parents lived and died together for more than 50 years. There was no renewal anytime. Marry the right person that will be a friend, brother, father, husband, and enjoy your lives. All this big English, name they spoil marriage nowadays.
Royal Fitness finally says, my dear, we are renegotiating nothing. We die here. No leave, no surrender.
That sounds like you.
My sister.
That sounds like you.
He says that with the rising rate of divorce, this would actually be a good idea. Baby, let's marry for 5 years, then decide if we're going to continue or not. This will make divorce less aggravating or stressful for those who find out it's not working.
And that person says that I will negotiate that other room activities will be only once a week. Once a week.
No, what happens when you have an impasse? So hubby wants 5 times a week, wife wants once a week. So what happens to the marriage now at that point?
Well, negotiate. That's why you're negotiating.
No, you're not coming to the negotiation table.
You will not make offers. That's what negotiation is. You make offers that, okay, for me to get 3 times in a week, I will give you A, B, C, D. When we negotiate, nobody is feeling cheated in the marriage.
Exactly.
Though, we might not wait for 5 years. Let's do it weekly or monthly.
Once a week or twice a week. Once a week, put your hands up.
Hot topic. Another hot topic.
3 times a week. Yes. 5 times a week. Hey. All right, that's all we can take. Thanks again to Yemi Legend for the small chops, cream slices for this cake, and TBA services
for the drinks,
drinks and water. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.